Hey FlossTube, how's it going? My name is Dane, also known as Dea'Sarath in the video gaming world. Y'all might know my girlfriend, Courtney Lilithsarath. I have started up a FlossTube channel to show off what I have been doing and why I do what I do. I am more of a hobbyist that I have other things that I do like to do. Automotive, video game, do tattoos, little gunsmithing, and general fabrication and creation. I am also the matter and framer in the home, and doing this hobby does help with knowing what needs to be done when you're stretching your fabric, your finished project, for the backing pieces. And it's one thing just to put a frame on a picture, it's another thing to create a picture with the frame, if that makes sense. I recently got back into the hobby about 1.5 years ago when Courtney and I were still developing our initial relationship, and I wanted to share in a hobby and passion of hers. And at the time I was doing more reading, so I kind of needed a good bookmark. I was just either dog-earing the page or using a receipt from the store or whatever happened to be nearby, and she kind of convinced me that I should go ahead and make a bookmark, as she has many of her own. So that's what I'm going to start with first. To begin with, in high school I was an art student, so I went through my portfolio and picked out this piece and was able to scale it down so that I could get the image onto a scanner. And this software, awesome little program Courtney had, and works great. You can scan in an image, tell it what size of fabric you're using, the stitch count, what kind of color depth do you want. Do you want it to be in DMC, J&P? Do you want to use your pearls? Do you want to use your metallics? And it will take that image and pull out a pattern for it, and you can, as a user, go into greater detail and be able to produce a finished usable pattern. And here is the result. Nice little, great bookmark, works wonders. That was the first project that got me back into this. Now, I'm saying getting back into. When I was a kid, I grew up at the foot pedal of my mom's Kenmore. She is a huge quilter, garment maker. She's been sewing since she was a little girl. My little sister and I grew up at her feet, and both of us are able to sew and create. My older brother, yeah, he's just too cool for that stuff, so he never really picked it up and went with it. Getting into those high school years, I started to be kind of, a little too cool for it, and left the arts and crafts behind for art and other recreational activities. Oops. Anywho, now that I've gotten back into it, I did that one little piece. There was another one that Courtney had shown off that I had done for my little sister. She was a big rabbit fan, probably still is. She used to have 2 little rabbits as a child. One was named Haas, little fat Haas-like bunny. The other one was a black, kind of with an attitude, kind of like Pepper. So we got her to name it Pfeffer. For those who know their German, that was Haas and Pfeffer. She didn't like fricassee and stir fry, so my brother and I convinced her to call them Haas and Pfeffer. We're horrible. Anywho, I know Courtney had shown this book previously, awesome little book, had some really good twisted, and there was the Roadkill Bunny. You get this nice little, let's see if the light will play fair, nice little bunny, not so nice little bunny. She loved the keychain, she honestly did. The next project that I had gone on to do, last year for Christmas, Courtney had actually gotten me a kit. She knows that I like tigers. I know she showed this one off too. But this is, you now have a face to the creation. And that was my most recent completion here this last month or so, 2 months, that I had completed that one. Took me almost eight months to complete it, so that kind of gives you an idea about how much I do stitch. I game a lot too. Currently, I have taken on a Haid. Decided my next project that I would like to take on would be super ambitious, and there are way too many patterns on Heaven and Earth Design site. Took me probably 2 days to go through everything and decide what I wanted to do. And what I ended up picking was Fallen Angel. Real pretty image. I sat there for a few days deciding whether I wanted to do a max size, a max color, or the normal size, normal color. The max size was huge, especially for 25 count. Has about 89 colors. Normal size also has 89 colors. I went with the max color pattern, which has 130 colors. This should be fun. Just to give an idea, this is what I'm working with, and I'm still missing approximately 40 more bobbins that I need to go get to be able to finish out the project in its entirety. That being said, it is a 36-page pattern. Granted, 6 pages on one side and the 6 pages across the bottom are partials, and if I condense those all down to like 1 page worth of stitching, we're still looking at 26 pages of pattern. If I did 1 page a month, I could be at this for 2 years. I started on the 22nd, today is now the 28th, so within the last 6 days, I've managed to get this far with 2 of the colors. Don't know if the camera will pick up the 2 different colors. There's a green gray and a steel gray. So that's, I'm not doing too terribly bad. I'm still kind of guesstimating it might take me a month per page, especially once I start getting into her face and through some of the wing detail or dress detail. Might slow me down a little bit. I was kind of hoping to be able to pick up some pearls for the wings, but when I laid the pattern pages out trying to see if I could distinguish the wing colors, the symbols, so that I could figure out what I needed to compare to go to a pearlescent. Yeah, max color, those pages don't make sense. Black and white with all the symbols everywhere. You can see confetti heaven. This is definitely going to be a confetti piece, and a lot of the symbols do get lost in the way. In the future, I'm not a big fan of doing multiple whips. It's that ooh, shiny concept that I would get lost. I'm worried that I might not pick up a certain project again because I got distracted with a new one. However, 2 years ago, Courtney had made me a really cool cross-stitch stocking for Christmas, and I do want to return and make one for her. So that's, as soon as I've really picked out a pattern, got a design, got something I can work with, dig my teeth into, I will be starting up on that whip. Once I finish the Fallen Angel, on Courtney's first video, she had made mention to the Gamer Nouveau pattern, and to the individual that gave us the link to find that one, thank you. That will be a future project of mine as well. Why have I gotten back into stitching? I don't know if Courtney has mentioned. About a year and a half ago, I was working on a roof when the structure collapsed and I shattered my leg. I didn't just break it in 2 or 3 places, I broke it in 20 to 30 plus pieces. And for the last year or so, I've been kind of housebound. And there's only so much gaming I can do in a day before I kind of get bored and feeling super lazy, and this creating gives you something that you can look at in the future and go, I made that. I did that. At the end of the day of playing games, what do you have to show for yourself? So I can only play so much, and I stitch the rest of the time. I have recently been able to get back to going to work. I'm only working about part-time before, my leg really does crap out on me. But it's a start. After a year or so of not working, I'm happy to be back in the workforce again and doing. If y'all have any questions, ideas, comments, assistance, help, please by all means leave that in the comment screen. I know I probably, because I don't do the multiple whips, I probably won't be producing videos as often. Might have an update here and there, might even do like a little short cameo in one of Courtney's if it's nothing more than, hey, look, this is where I am now, and moving on. I know as soon as she's done with her current piece, I do feel like I'll probably do a how-to matting for some of y'all that I use black foam board. That way, as the fabric is stretched, you really don't have a bright white. It gives it a little more depth. How do I get good crisp edges, corners? The strings themselves are not all that is holding the fabric on. There is a row of staples. I will go into greater detail at a later time when I've actually got a piece that I can show you. Look, this is how you do it, so you can get your image square. I was one time practicing with the strings and trying to get it completely square, just stringing in the back, and the image itself would get warped or distorted, pulled here. As strong as Ada, even weave, and such fabrics are, when you only have the one thread going through and you pull it tight, you can actually pull your fabric apart. Don't want to do that. But I will discuss that in the future. I appreciate y'all taking a moment to listen to me rant a little, and I hope for positive things in the future. Thank you, and y'all take care.